Have you ever wondered why, when there's an emergency and something happens, like somebody falls or somebody drops something, and there's a ton of people around that incident, nobody does anything? Everybody just stays looking at what happened. Hi friends, welcome to episode 39. This is Genesis. Or when somebody asks a question in a room full of people, most of the times, if it's not like a classroom setting, nobody really reaches out to reply with an answer. This is called the bystander effect. And it is a psychological phenomenon where individuals are less likely to help someone in need when there's other people present. This happens because people think that since there's other people around, somebody else will do something. Even if it's an emergency, people assume that there's somebody that will react and help. It's often attributed to the diffusion of responsibility, where the responsibility for the action is basically divided and spread in the room. Less responsibility falls on the individual, on the particular person, so they feel less responsible for reacting and helping in the emergency or for taking that action, which makes them reluctant to act. In October 2011, a 2-year-old little girl in China was hit by a small van while crossing a road. While she was laying on the floor injured and bleeding because of the accident, there was at least an amount of 18 people surrounding her. These people were walking, going on with their lives, some of them even walking around the block, and nobody wanted to help her. Even right after, a larger truck came by and ran over her. After this, finally a man picked her up and called emergency services. Why would people just ignore her when she clearly was a little 2-year-old girl being run by a van and then a larger truck? Why wouldn't people do something about it? Why would they ignore somebody in need? This is an example of the bystander effect, where even though they had the opportunity to help, everybody just assumed that somebody else will do it, that maybe the police will do it, maybe the other person will do it, maybe a person with more energy will do it. So nobody did anything, to the point that another truck came by and ran over the little girl. The witness basically spread the responsibility and nobody did anything about it until it was really obvious that the girl was about to die. These situations happen to us in everyday life, and it's a psychological effect that happens in human beings. It's really important to realize that this is happening at all times, so by the time that you see somebody that has an emergency, somebody that really needs help, ask a question, somebody that is in need, you are able to recognize that yes, maybe everybody has a responsibility, but a lot of people might be stopped by this psychological effect. So that liberates you and that gives you more responsibility for you to do something about it. If you see another person falling, maybe even though he or she might be surrounded by their family, just jumping in and trying to help. Those things can help us in our everyday life and to combat this diffusion of responsibility, so we can be responsible human beings and that we can act when there's an emergency, and that we can be the protagonists of our own lives and help the people that need us, that are surrounding us in our communities. I hope this helps. Please share this with somebody that needs to see this, and follow for more psychology, self-development, marketing, business, and art content. Thank you. Bye.